Taoiseach, we're all waiting on to see what will happen tomorrow with the US tariffs, and what we do know is that there's no winners in a trade war and that we shouldn't see an EU knee-jerk reaction. What we need, even at this point, is cool heads. And I must say I was taken back by what Paschal Donoghue had to say last weekend when he asserted in RT that Europe had to respond. We won't face down an erratic US administration by copying them, Taoiseach. And we can't, on the one hand, say what Trump is doing is an act of self-harm and then go on to do the same in kind. The ESRI were very clear in terms of tariffs and on the EU counter-tariffs. They both hurt the economy, they both impact on jobs. So just as Trump's tariffs will be a tax on American people, EU tariffs would be a tax on Irish and EU people. So we shouldn't cut off our nose to spite our face, and the priority needs to be about prioritising Irish interests, protecting jobs and protecting workers and families. So can I ask you, Taoiseach, do you agree that the talk of automatic counter-tariffs is premature and not in Ireland's interest at this stage?
Taoiseach.
First of all, I agree with the Deputy. Tariffs are bad all round, and they are a tax on people, essentially. And there will be a tax on people's groceries in the US and medication in the US. Europe will not respond prematurely, and Europe will not respond in a knee-jerk way. Europe is going to engage in a strategic response. The objective of the European Union's response will be to encourage the United States to the negotiating table to get a mitigation of whatever tariffs are announced tomorrow. In terms of no one's quite precise in terms of how high these tariffs will be, but it does make sense that there will be negotiation to try and get a reasonable resolution. It won't be satisfactory to everybody, but at least it could mitigate some of the damage that undoubtedly will be done as a result of the imposition of these tariffs.
Thank you, Taoiseach.
This April Fool's Day, we're bracing ourselves for the impact of the most foolish April Fool of them all. And I'm talking, of course, about Trump's tariffs, the scale and scope of which we will learn tomorrow. Not content with damaging his own economy, he has now got his sights set on ours too, and reportedly even within his own administration, there is no knowing yet what exactly he has planned. Indeed, he may not even know himself. In that context, I was glad that the Taoiseach responded positively to my request in scheduling a briefing last week for opposition leaders to hear from officials in his department about the likely impact of tariffs. And I want to thank the Taoiseach and his officials for what was a comprehensive but a deeply worrying briefing. Taoiseach, clearly we cannot take the threat of tariffs seriously enough. We know that a significant fall in exports to the US could mean significant job losses here, and we know how reliant the Exchequer is on corporation tax, a disproportionate amount of which is from the profits of US multinationals. Taoiseach, the place that we find ourselves in today reflects the risks that your party and Fine Gael have taken with the economy. First, in failing to diversify our economic base. Our economic model has clearly become over-reliant on a very small number of big American corporations, and that's widely acknowledged as a risk. Secondly, there's a serious risk to our economy because you've contrived to waste what has undoubtedly been a boom. Our eye-watering corporation tax gains have been squandered because your government did not use the money to invest in the sustainable infrastructure we so badly need: affordable housing, decent public transport, universal childcare, fit-for-purpose healthcare, and clean energy supplies. That's what we should have now in place here in Ireland, given the budgetary figures we've had. But instead, you favoured one-off measures in recent budgets, a few quid off skyrocketing electricity bills and a tiny amount towards spiralling rents, but nothing meaningful for those who need it so badly in a housing and a cost of living crisis. So, Taoiseach, this is crunch time. And can you tell us today that your government's response to tariffs will prioritise public investment and targeted measures to help those who need it most? And will you act to safeguard jobs and livelihoods? We've welcomed the index linking of welfare payments. That's very good to see. But now is the time to prepare for potential job losses. Since the pandemic, we in Labour have been calling for a state-backed, short-term wage subsidy scheme to protect workers during periods of uncertainty. It would work like the EWSS introduced during the pandemic. It's long been in place in countries like Germany, and we've termed it the Oberjahr scheme to subsidise employees, Taoiseach, to work shorter hours when companies encounter difficulties and provide access to upskilling programmes. It's a vital type of model to protect workers' dignity, to protect the livelihoods of families and households. So, Taoiseach, will you commit to looking at our proposals for this short-term working scheme and give us a commitment that you'll respond to Trump's tariffs tomorrow with effective targeted measures to protect businesses but also families and struggling households?
Taoiseach.
First of all, Níl áras socha é seo an ábhar is táchtaí a bheith go scór na dála seo agus scór na tíre sna blianta atá roing. Níl áras ar sin Bunatharú atá fi chabadal ag údarás na Stáit Aontaithe agus Uachtarán na Stáit Aontaithe mar le tariffs agus cuasaí trádála. Without question, this is a fundamental shift in US policy. Tariffs are bad. They're bad for the world. They will create instability, uncertainty, and a lack of predictability in the world economy. That will mean a pause in investment. Whatever about existing investments, decision makers are pausing their investment decisions pending this settling down. And that in itself will have a dampening effect on economic growth, not just globally, but across Europe and indeed in Ireland. The question of the, and it's clear that from what we understand so far, we're looking at a universal applicability of tariffs in terms of countries and in terms of goods. And obviously we have a number of sectors. The US administration are going to focus on 5 sectors, semiconductors, wood, pharma, and automotive and so forth, which is having a big impact already in terms of some EU countries. But the key issue is Europe doesn't want tariffs and Europe wants negotiation. So Europe will take a strategic approach in its response. And that is as it should be. We will input into that response. We're part of the European Union, and we will input into that response in terms of what's the most effective strategic way to mitigate and reduce the impact of tariffs on Ireland and on Europe itself. Tariffs will increase inflation, will increase the cost of medication, will increase the cost of groceries in America in particular and elsewhere. I would reject your criticisms in terms of Ireland. Ireland has a broad base, both indigenous and multinational investment in Ireland and abroad. I mean, Irish companies are all over the world, and there's a connection. I mean, the FDI that came into Ireland spawned a lot of Irish-owned companies. A lot of Irish-owned companies that are now big, strong companies developed on the back of supply chains to the multinationals, particularly project management areas, particularly in terms of instrumentation. You take a company like Intel, or you take some of the pharmaceuticals, they're constructing plants all over the world. Very often you will find Irish companies in the supply chain to those companies. So it's far too simplistic to draw a distinction between the FDI sector and Ireland's SME sector. We need to diversify markets. We need to sign the CETA deal. I think you were opposed to the CETA deal. You had concerns. You were against it. And that was wrong. And our bread and butter is trade deals. And we should support CETA, and I appreciate your support when we bring the legislation to ratify that deal before the House. I appreciate that. I'll come back later next week.
Deputy Batchy.
Well, Taoiseach, certainly I think we all agree in this House that the tariffs Trump is proposing are bad for the worldwide economy. Indeed, we could be facing an international Trump slump, as it has been described. And indeed, the fear of tariffs itself is having a destabilising effect across Ireland and across Europe. And, you know, I think we all appreciate that the EU has to respond in a strategic manner to whatever comes forward from the US tomorrow. But equally, here at home, we have to control the controllables. And your own finance minister has pointed out the need to invest in infrastructure. An acknowledgement, I think, that, as is widely accepted, we simply don't have the critical public infrastructure that should be in place at this point in time, particularly in housing, as we all know. We all know that's the biggest crisis here at home facing this government. But Taoiseach, that's why we're offering a constructive proposal from Labour. We believe our Oberghear scheme could be transformational. It could have made a huge difference during the previous recession. It would have enabled us to hold on to more of our construction workers, and that itself would have meant we could have delivered more
Thanks,
homes. Indeed, we might even have been able to deliver 40,000 homes last year.
you, Deputy.
If we'd had a scheme that had enabled construction workers to stay in Ireland on the subsidised sort of scheme that we've seen in Germany. So, Taoiseach, will you review our scheme and look at it as a potential way to help households?
This is a different potential economic upheaval than the previous one. It's of a different structure and of a different nature. And I would say that we've provided for the Future Ireland Fund and the Climate Infrastructure and Nature Fund, which is providing substantial funding. We'll have 16 billion by the end of this year in the Future Ireland Fund. And whatever we do, we should try and maintain that as a protector of the future and for the generations who will require access to pensions and social protection and infrastructure, continuing investment in infrastructure. So we will be prioritising investment in infrastructure in terms of water, grid, in terms of digital transformation of health, in terms of public transport and so forth. In addition to that, Europe wants to double down on the single market, and I agree with President von der Leyen on this, and Ireland has to play its role in that because the single market has been good for Ireland. The Savings Investment Union is one that is being seriously pushed now by the EU, and Ireland will cooperate constructively in terms of arriving at a landing zone that benefits Ireland but benefits the wider European Union as well in respect of releasing savings to enable investment to take place in Europe to a far greater degree than is the case at the moment.
Now we move to Deputy Ciarán O'Callaghan.
Taoiseach, tomorrow Donald Trump will take a wrecking ball to the world economy. His goal is clear and unambiguous: to cause maximum damage. Yesterday, Trump said his tariffs would make his country go boom, which brought to mind the Hindenburg disaster, because as far as plans go, tariffs are up there with filling an airship with flammable gas. Tariffs are toxic to trade and economic growth, and America will not be immune from this poison, which is why fears of a recession in the United States are growing. Taoiseach, we are through the looking glass when it comes to the Trump administration. Appeals to reason and logic are doomed to failure, and the threat to us as a small, open economy is particularly serious. This is clear from the modelling that's been done, and in a worst-case scenario where up to 80,000 jobs could be lost or not created. Pharmaceutical exports to the US could halve. First and foremost, the EU, as the world's largest trading bloc, will have to respond to this unprovoked aggression. But it's crucial that any response is well thought out and measured. It's essential that our voices and national interests are represented in any EU retaliation. Taoiseach, trade, as you know, is an EU competency, but there's much that we can do domestically to prepare for this onslaught. In the short term, emergency supports for impacted sectors may need to be put in place. Allied with this, we should be turbocharging investment in critical infrastructure. We need to invest in energy, transport and water infrastructure to reduce costs for businesses and indeed households. We need to invest in affordable housing to support our continued economic development. Taoiseach, we've no control over what will be announced tomorrow, but we must use every lever that we have here and at an EU level to mitigate the damage. At the outset, can you tell us what your position is on tit-for-tat tariffs at an EU level? Can you also outline any EU supports for impacted sectors that will be made available? The European Globalisation Adjustment Fund was initially set up to help workers who lost out jobs due to globalisation. Will you advocate for this fund to be repurposed to help workers who are impacted by these tariffs? And finally, what preparation has been done to introduce emergency domestic supports for impacted sectors, and how do you intend to communicate these?
Thank you, Deputy Taoiseach.
Thank the Deputy for his response, and to say that the response has to be on a number of levels. First of all, within the European Union, we will be consulting with the Commission, inputting into the Commission. The design of countermeasures is very important, and that it's not a knee-jerk, tit-for-tat type of response. It has to be calibrated, it has to be strategic, to make sure that whatever we do, we don't damage ourselves more by doing it. When I say we, Europe, and Ireland obviously is part of that. And that is particularly applicable to the pharmaceutical sector. We really have to weigh that up, because a response could even be counterproductive and could actually compound the problems. But again, the Commission is working on that. They're aware of our views. We obviously have concerns in the agri-food area. And again, the design of countermeasures is going to be critical in terms of ensuring that we do that which is optimal for our workers. And worker protection of jobs is the #1 priority of the Irish government in all of this. And it will take some time to unfold. Europe didn't start this. Europe doesn't want the tariff war. Europe wants negotiation. And that hopefully, following Europe's response, we'll get to negotiation with the US administration and then get to some settled landing zone. But even that landing zone post-negotiation won't be where we are today. So we need to be upfront about that. I think, as President von der Leyen says, the old order is essentially gone for now. And therefore we have to adapt, we have to innovate. And Europe's strength is in the single market, doubling down on the single market, diversifying trade to other countries. And this Dáil has had a strange approach to trade deals that the European Union conducts and have opposed them time and time again, rather vitriotically at times, which makes no sense in terms of where the Irish economy is. So we need to wake up fast to the value and importance of trade deals that Europe can do. And I think counterintuitively is the best thing to do against the protectionist leanings of the US and others is to actually start doing more trade deals. So Europe is very close to a deal. Hopefully, by the end of this year, they'll have a deal closed with India. They're looking at Indonesia, and they've concluded deals. So we have to really reflect on that very hard. As an Oireachtas, trade works for Ireland. If you take the Canadian European Union trade deal, trade has gone up 30% for Irish SMEs in the Canadian market. Now, this was opposed by most of the opposition on the grounds of the investor clauses and all of that. Dáil Éireann has not been in a position to ratify the CETA deal, even though it's in provisional operation since 2018. What is that saying about Irish legislators in terms of what matters to the Irish people, what matters for Irish jobs, and what essentially is the bread and butter of people's lives on the table?
Thank you, Taoiseach.
You know?
Thank you,
But this
Taoiseach.
works for workers. The trade deal works
Thank
for
you,
workers.
Taoiseach.
That's the point.
Thank you, Deputy O'Callaghan. Deputy O'Callaghan.
And Taoiseach, I think you've just confirmed that trade with Canada is flourishing without the provisions of the investor court. So we can have strong trade without those provisions. But Taoiseach, just want to get back to this key point in terms of supporting workers and sectors that are impacted by the announcements that take place tomorrow and thereafter. So what is there plans at an EU level to put in place supports? As I was saying, the European Globalisation Adjustment Fund was a very successful support. So is that going to be repurposed? Are you going to ask and lobby for that to be repurposed? Will you take on board that suggestion? Because I think that could be very, very useful. And at a domestic level, what sort of supports are you going to put in place? When are you going to make decisions on those, and when will those be communicated?
I think it's far too early to make decisions in relation to that right now. We have to see where this lands. The capacity to reshore pharmaceutical in the short term, I don't believe is there. The issue in the short term is more the pausing of investment decisions for the future, and that's what would concern me. American companies have grown strong in Ireland, and this is the point we're making bilaterally to the US. They're an integrated part of a complex supply chain between here and the US. So a lot of our products go to the US for finished product to be made in the US. So there's a bit to go on this yet. I hope there will be negotiations following the EU response, which can reduce tariffs significantly, and that we can navigate our way through this with the objective of protecting jobs into the future. It is a different structural issue economically that we have to come to grips with. But again, it's a bit early yet to be sort of almost saying that certain job losses are inevitable. The pace of this is yet unclear. The impacts are unclear because I don't think we've witnessed such a universal application of tariffs before across the globe.